Well, hello there, and welcome back to this episode of The Terri Show. And I want to start with a question. When you are upset, do you feel like you have to sort of manage your emotions on your own? Are you sort of doing all this hard work, but doing it by yourself? We hear so much nowadays about, emotional self-regulation and co-regulation. In today's episode, I'm going to be breaking down what this really means and really taking a stand for the fact that we were really never meant to regulate alone, and that it's such a powerful process to be with other people and have the ability to co-regulate. And I'll give you examples of what that looks like and how you can do it more in your own life. So before we get into it, if you happen to be new to my YouTube channel, well, hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Say hello in the comments, introduce yourself. We're a friendly group. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time I roll out something new, which is every Tuesday and every Thursday. And make sure you subscribe. They have all these statistics about 69% of people who watch regularly on YouTube are not subscribed, which I don't get. So if you're one of those people, hit the subscribe button, would you? It costs you nothing and is good for me and my numbers. So please do it. I also just want to say thank you for being so active in this YouTube channel. We've been here for a lot of years, coming on 10 years, but I appreciate this community that together we have built this safe and sacred community here. And I just love how active you guys are and how much you want to improve the quality of your life and your relationship and your mental health. You are my people. And I want you to know that I literally see you. I really do. Okay. Let's move it on into today's episode. So why is it that we heal better together, right? What is the science of community, of connection, and of co-regulation? That's basically what we're going to be talking about today. Truth, your nervous system, and we know this from children, isn't meant to heal alone. So before we even get into it, speaking of healing and nervous system, let's take a moment to ground. Right now, unless you're driving, then all eyes on the road, you can do the grounding later. I'm going to ask you to gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. If you have something that smells good, you can grab it, an essential oil. You want to put it on your hands for a moment. I love using essential oil to help. All right, take a deep breath. I want you to drop your attention inward and just breathe. I want you to feel your body where you are, right? You're just asking yourself, how does my body feel at this moment? No judgment, just notice. This is the beginning of co-regulation, right? Coming back into your body slowly and gently. Before diving into anything else. I do this in my Terri Cole membership. We do this before any live thing that I do. But right now, just allow yourself to feel. What does it feel like to be in your body? So wherever your mind was before this, we're intentionally dropping it inward. And just notice how you feel. That's basically what grounding is. We use the senses. Notice if you can hear anything. With your eyes closed, can you imagine what the room that you're in looks like, right? Can you picture it without opening your eyes? Do you have a taste in your mouth that you can identify? Is the air cool or is it warm? Is what you're sitting on hard or soft? These are ways that we use the senses to ground ourselves in this present moment. And it's also a way that we regulate our nervous systems. Okay, take a deep breath. All right, gently open your eyes and come on back. That was really quick, but that really is the beginning of co-regulating, right? I co-regulate in my group all the time. Because, we're all coming from all over the world to these meetings. I don't know what people did before they were coming into the meeting, but grounding coming back into your body slowly and gently before diving into anything else is a real way to honor yourself, but also to regulate your nervous system. So let's talk about, like, for many of us, right, healing itself is sort of a solo endeavor, right? It's like we do this therapy sessions that we process alone after the fact. And maybe you talk to friends about it, but for a lot of us, that's not what happens. Journaling through your own emotions, but sort of in isolation, doing inner child work, but kind of doing it behind closed doors, not sure what other people would think about it, trying to stay calm under pressure without asking for support, right? Trying not to need anyone. And I know that this is particularly true for the HFCs, the high functioning codependents in this crew, because needing people equates to vulnerability, which, let's be honest, probably not our most favorite thing to happen. Reality, though, this hyper-independence that for many years I was so proud of, that I was so self-contained. I was like, I will do it and I can do it myself, you know? But the truth is, our nervous systems were never built for that type of hyper-independence, right? When we're in the presence of others who feel grounded, kind, and safe, what happens in our bodies? Something softens, right? Our breath deepens naturally. Our shoulders drop, sort of without effort. It's like just being with people where there's emotional safety. And this is co-regulation, right? And when you have it in your important relationships and in the groups that you're a part of, it really changes the quality of your life. So let's break down a little bit of the science of co-regulation, right? So this is a process of soothing or energizing your nervous system, because it isn't just soothing, through connection with another person or with other people, right? So it's not about being fixed per se. Visualize it as being felt. It's more being felt than being fixed, which is why it's so comfortable around people who don't auto-fix you. There's a safety in just being able to be yourself. So when does co-regulation happen? When someone sits with you and is just witnessing you with compassion, right? That is co-regulation. When a group takes a big breath together, right? Before doing something, before diving in. I purposefully always co-regulate my group, my Terri membership, before our meetings. We do a grounding every single time, because it matters. And what happens is, I almost visualize it as when you're co-regulating, it's almost like you're meeting in the unified field. For me, as Deepak Chopra would say, it's like it gets us all on the same energetic vibe. Because what is happening with our nervous systems, we're getting the signal that says, you are safe, you belong. This is what co-regulation looks like. So this is, how does it play out in real life and in real time? So in my own marriage with Vic, we've been together 27 years, married 25. Only one of us gets to be like losing their shit at a time. So if I'm losing it or I'm spinning out about something, the other one instinctively, but we've also talked about it, will ground, will not glom on to make it worse, right? If I'm projecting fearfully into the future about something, then it's Vic's job to be like, or it could all work out and fall into place with ease and grace, Terri, right? It could. That could happen too. So I think that in real life, that's what co-regulation looks like, because it's not about fixing. It's about being the calm while the other person processes what they're going through, and it creates space. Because the thing is, it doesn't last. If I'm having some kind of a freak out, it's going to be brief. But apparently, if I'm having it, I need to have it. So it isn't helpful. And of course, when Vic and I were first together, we hadn't, we both had a lot of therapy, but we hadn't been together. So, there was a lot of trying to fix each other to a degree, or him trying to make me feel better about something, which only made me mad when he's like, well, it's not that bad because of this, or think about it this way, or why didn't you do this? Any of that auto-fixing shit, just, I didn't have the words perfectly then. I got them within the first 5 years, I'd say, to be like, no, man, I do not need you to fix me, and you trying to fix me, even though I know he was being loving. It is so much more loving for him to stay calm and hold the peace for me until I can get back there. And he knows I'm going to be fine. We all get to freak out sometimes, So that's co-regulation, but it's also partnership. And in a good partnership, you make each other's nervous systems better, not worse. The guy who created the polyvagal theory, Stephen Porges, I think is how you pronounce his name, he has a quote that says, "The way we feel safe is through connections with others." And that is, you guys, so true for me. I just got choked up. That was so weird. You guys, sometimes doing this show, I literally have no idea what is going to run me over, or hit me. But it's so true. I grew up as the youngest sister of three. I have three older sisters. My connectedness is so important to me. How I feel safe. And yes, I feel safe alone too. But it's so important, my connections. Listen, not everyone needs the amount of connections I have, which are a lot of very good friends, very old friends, very close sisters, very close mother, all of those things. I feel like I need more than regular people. I could be wrong. But do you find that to be true for you? Do other people help your nervous system return to a state of calm and safety? Because that wasn't always the case in my life, right? And maybe not yours too, where I didn't always have the best picker, let's say relationship-wise. And I would be with people who would provoke my anxiety through their actions, whether it was intentional or unintentional. And so I feel like as I got healthier, I was able to pick someone who would want to co-regulate with me. Of course, we weren't using that language, but that's basically what was happening. But what happens when we feel compelled to do it all ourselves? Well, I can tell you, because I did it for a long time, right? Especially around healing and work and upsetness. We're kind of taught that healing should be done in private. A lot of us, there's still that old idea that we shouldn't, don't air your dirty laundry, so to speak, that, the message that strength means being self-resilient, right? Not depending on other people, or that needing support means you're weak in some way. So we try to self-soothe when we believe those things through everything, right? We try to self-soothe invisibly, quietly, alone, a lot of times. It is so powerful when you don't journal endlessly or meditate in isolation or overthink every emotion or try to white knuckle your way through this. When I first started doing courses 10 years ago or 11 years ago, I didn't know if what I did in my therapy office was going to work in a group and online. How could I possibly know that? And it wasn't like it is now, where now everyone does it, but it wasn't like that. This was 10 years ago. It was really not that many people, and especially not a lot of therapists doing it. And what I found, so I beta tested my boundary course with 50 women, and I made all of the changes. They wanted me to make it twice as long, which I did because it originally was only 4 weeks and all these things. But what I found was that being together in a group and co-regulating, because for sure that's what from the beginning we were doing, because I have this special skill, if I say so myself, and I will, to create an incredibly safe and sacred group environment. I have lots of very particular rules and regulations. There's no advice giving to other people. We witness with compassion. There's a whole way that we interact with each other in a healthy way. And what blew my mind was that everything that I'd been doing for years very successfully with my solo therapy clients and coaching clients was even more powerful and successful in a group setting. And it absolutely, part of it has to do with the co-regulation aspect, where it is so normalizing to be with other people who understand your life experience, with other people who go, oh my God, me too. Yes, I had that same feeling. Or can allow you to be upset without trying to auto-fix, because we don't do that in my membership. We don't do that in my group. So while self-awareness, super powerful, right? It's also exhausting if it's your only tool. Because the truth is, processing these hard emotions by yourself can become a full-time job. It's exhausting. White knuckling it through, dysregulation can really burn you out. And there's only so much of that we can do as people Even joy gets sort of blunted or muted, let's say, when there's no one there to sort of witness it with you. Like we are meant to be in a collective group, you know? And sometimes when you think about resilience, like what looks like resilience could really just be nervous system in survival mode, right? And again, this is where the hypervigilance comes into it and the hyper independence. So this isn't just like a nice notion that I have for you. It's actually biological, right? You don't have to crave connection because you're weak or something's wrong with you, right? You crave it because your body is wired to heal with others, which is why why is it that girlfriends are so important? Having good girlfriends, because we heal together, right? The healing happens in the micro moments when someone mirrors your truth without flinching, right? When you feel seen, when you speak a win out loud and everyone celebrates you. How does that feel? Everyone celebrates with you, right? It's not just celebrating you. It's actually being happy for you when your shoulders drop because someone else is going to get it, whatever the thing is. Allowing someone else to help you, asking for the help that you need when you feel truly seen and understood, right? These are the micro moments, and they aren't luxuries, right? This is medicine for your nervous system. These are, if we could really truly look at them as biological necessities, because they are. They're not just like emotional wins, which makes them seem so light. This is how your body was designed to return to safety. Because think about the way that we lived, right? In groups. This is what it was. So healing in isolation takes so much longer, not because you're doing it wrong, right? But because you're missing, what do you need? There's a certain amount of social fuel. There's a certain amount of someone reflecting back to you that is so helpful when you're on a healing journey, right? In community, what do you get to do? You get to access what you need. You can borrow someone else's calm when yours is shaky. As a therapist, I would always say to my clients, I'll hold that hope for you until you can get back to it. Or I would hold their highest self, like what they want. I could see it so clearly in my mind. And even when I knew they couldn't, I could still hold it. And in all of those cases, I am co-regulating them in that process. Because it's about you feeling seen in moments when you usually shut down, but you don't shut down in groups. That you learn that it's safe to speak, right? To soften, to rest. How good is that for your nervous system? You realize you're not the only one going through it. Again, so powerful in a group. You experience presence, right? Without pressure. Can you just be? And the answer is you can. It really is permission to be fully human. You know, it's when you think about what is a true friend, it isn't the one giving you advice from the sidelines or like fixing you because you're making them uncomfortable. They're in the trenches with you asking, how can I best support you right now? Think about that. That is so regulating to me, right? It's what co-regulation feels like. No pressure, right? But yes, presence. No performance, because we don't want to have to do that. But more of attunement when you're like vibing with the people that you're with. And not judgment, right? We're moving from judgment to a real sense of belonging. So one person in a room breathing slowly can help the entire room regulate. We are so drawn to those people. And I know that in most rooms I'm in, I am that person, no matter what is going on, because I am very regulated 99.2% of the time, right? One moment of attunement can break a cycle of someone who's like spinning out in self-blame or feeling bad or shame. One group that sees you, really sees the real you, can restore your trust in people, but also in yourself. So co-regulation is so important, and it's the foundation for this nervous system healing. And the grounding tools, right, become more effective when practiced with someone safely and steadily. It's like when we do it together, Vic and I feel like it is so much more productive. So this is really protecting your peace, curating relationships where your nervous system can settle. Why do we want securely attached people? Because they're calm. because we can co-regulate with them because they can hang, they can handle it, they can stay steady, right? When you're with someone like that, you're not endlessly anticipating criticism or chaos or emotional labor. So, true healing doesn't always happen in solitude, people. Sometimes it begins with connection. So, how I use this in the Terri Cole membership every single week inside the community, we don't just talk about nervous system healing. We actually practice it. Every live session begins with the grounding, like a longer version of what I did at the top of this episode, a shared breath that syncs our energy, a moment of stillness to settle in, like to arrive where we are, an invitation to be here now, right? This tells every nervous system in the virtual room, you are safe here. And then we focus on connection and progress, right? We celebrate small wins. No comparison, no compare and despair, no performance pressure, right? Just presence and real support. And a space where your presence actually matters, where your nervous system can finally rest. So I'm just saying, you guys, you don't have to heal alone. That's the truth. If your body has been whispering, I need people who feel safe, I can't keep doing this by myself, I want to feel supported without judgment, there is a space for you. So inside the Terri Cole membership, we practice nervous system repair together, co-regulate in real time, celebrate our wins. And all you need to do to check it out is go to terricole.com/TCM. I would love to have you there. I also am giving you, you can go to the guide that goes along with this episode, and I'm giving you a grounding, an audio grounding that I did for you. So you can use it and start your day, every day, with a grounding. Because I want you to remember that healing is not a solo job. And I hope that this episode really created something for you in your life. I hope you'll consider joining the Terri Cole membership. I would love to have you. But I hope that it gave you some insight on ways that you can co-regulate better and to regulate your nervous system better, because you deserve to feel peaceful and calm. So don't forget to go get your grounding in the guide, terricole.com/guide. And if you want to check out the membership, go to terricole.com/TCM for Terri Cole membership. I hope you have the most amazing week. And as always, take care of you.